We'll move on now to our next question. We did receive a number of questions from viewers regarding the TANF scandal. The temporary assistance for needy families scandal was the largest embezzlement case in Mississippi history. This question will go first to you, Commissioner Presley. What is your plan to ensure that the $77 million in TANF money is fully recovered?
I am so glad you asked that question, because here's going to be another big difference between me and Tate. I am the only candidate in this race of the two people standing up here. He has not opened his mouth one time in this campaign to talk about ethics reform. Have you heard him say anything about how to stop this scandal from happening again? Absolutely not. He's not opened his mouth because he has been the chief cheerleader of corruption, like I said, with pom-poms in those hands for 12 long years. I have offered a bold ethics plan that does several things. Number one, we would stop the unlimited campaign contributions that come into Mississippi. We have a system today, and Tate Reeves is a poster child of this, that is bought and sold to the highest bidder for the most cash. It's well known around the Capitol. If you want to see the governor, you better milk out a campaign check. If you want to talk to him about an issue, you better make sure you're on his right side. I'm not going to be that type of governor. So I proposed a bold ethics plan that not only stops the TANF scandal from happening again, that would allow the Ethics Commission to hire an independent investigator, unlike the one that he fired, and the Ethics Commission could hire an independent investigator that could not be fired by either the governor or the legislature. He's not opened his mouth about ethics. He's not going to open his mouth about ethics reform. He is the poster child of this broken, corrupt system.
Thank you, Commissioner. Governor Reeves.
3 public service commissioners in Mississippi have gone to jail in the last 30 years for doing exactly what Brandon Presley did. 3 public service commissioners have gone to jail by doing exactly what Brandon Presley did. But during my administration, we actually have sued to recover every single penny that is owed the taxpayers of Mississippi. When we decided to change law firms, we hired one that was more experienced, that had more people, that had more resources, wherein the person that was doing it was an individual sole practitioner and just didn't have the resources available. He also is a big campaign donor to my opponent. But the fact of the matter is, we hired a law firm that was full service, that has offices in 15 states, that has sued every single individual that is alleged to have received funds illegally. I'm the only person standing on this stage that has actually fought to recover those dollars. That's a fact. It is an absolute fact.
30 seconds, yes, sir.
A couple of things. If you think Tate Reeves will take on corruption, I've got some beachfront property in Nettleton to sell you. We know he's not going to take on corruption. Secondly, he wants to talk about the law firm he hired. Guess who that law firm is? Guess who they are? Tate Reeves campaign contributors. And they gave to him before that. They gave to him after that. He's held fundraisers with people who were involved in the TANF scandal. He continues tonight, right now, to fund his campaign off of campaign contributions from Zach and Nancy New, 2 people that are being carted off to jail. Tate Reeves still funds his campaign tonight off of money that they gave him.
All right, Commissioner, thank you.
If y'all don't mind, the voters really need to hear this. Look, 3 public service commissioners have gone to jail for doing exactly what Brandon Presley has done. And now he wants to convince the voters that he is going to clean up corruption. What a hypocrite he is.
He continues to mention my name. I'm going to continue to ask for my time. Let me say this to you, Tate. You know and I know the minute you got threatened to be sued, you changed the ad because what you're telling is a lie. Solar companies are not public utilities. The law is clear. You know it. I didn't violate any law. But here's what we do know. Here's what we do know. You hired, I did not. Did not. Absolutely not.
Regulate entities. You took
now, you know
tens of thousands
All right, gentlemen.